What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot to talk about today, so make sure you stick around to the end. The stock market broke all-time highs today. DraftKings popped, and then we're also going to be covering Disney and Airbnb's earnings. We have a lot to talk about and a lot of great plays to go over, so make sure you stick around to the end. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of news that came out today. We did see some jobless numbers and stuff like that come in around the same as they've been coming in. And the market actually pushed up to all-time highs today as a lot of stocks ended up rising. But man, Disney reported earnings after the bell. We actually have a pretty exciting after hours here today. Disney and Airbnb both reported. Disney actually reported pretty good earnings here. They actually beat on EPS, an 80-cent EPS versus 55 cents expected. That was a pretty good beat. They also had a 17.02 billion revenue against a 16.76 billion expected. So that's awesome to see there. Really good growth in that type of sector. Also, their parks are doing well, and analysts are expecting to see major boost in revenue from parks, experiences, and their consumer products division. So overall, Disney's doing great. Even Disney Plus ended up killing it, having a lot more subscribers than they had whenever they reported earnings last time. So that's a good thing. They grew it by around over 10 million subscribers. So that's an awesome thing to see there.
There we go. So, Tom, we've been holding Disney call options for some time in the Stocked Up Premium group, and it's awesome to see an absolute explosion like we're seeing right now with Disney. But I don't want to get too excited just yet because earnings are always so volatile, and it's never good to celebrate too early. And like we saw with Airbnb in after hours, they shot up and they came right back down. But either way, it's good to see Disney beat expectations. They're a great company. They profited from their parks, and they're doing great with Disney Plus. So it's going great. If you want to trade with Tom and myself every single day, you can click that first link in the description down below. We actually bought Disney call options for this, so it should be a pretty good day tomorrow. But then, Tom, what's going on with Airbnb?
Yeah, Airbnb reported earnings, and man, they initially were flying up here. Me and you were watching it, Mike, and on the 1 minute chart, they started really flying up all the way up to 156. Then they ended up tanking off, and man, they actually reported quarterly losses of $1.95 per share on their EPS. That's pretty bad. They had a negative $1.30 EPS per share at the same period last year. So it looks like it's not doing too well for Airbnb right now. That's a pretty bad thing to see. Also, their quarterly sales were 887 million, and the analysts were expecting 1.23 billion, missing on revenue by 27.89%. That's a really bad thing to hear. And also, that's going to be really bad for the travel industry, which includes like airlines, other hotel stocks, and stuff like that. That's just bad to hear that they're reporting these types of numbers. And man, hopefully these other hotel stocks can still do pretty well. But Airbnb is getting killed here in after hours after initially rising. And, with that revenue miss, I'm guessing that's what made them end up tanking off.
For sure. So it's definitely been a pretty volatile stock over the past couple months. And then, we just had the stock market, break all-time highs today. Tom, I know we had a lot go on, whether it be DraftKings popping, Palantir popping, or just some interesting movement in general. Were there any specific stocks or anything you watched today?
Yeah, Palantir actually had a great day. They reported earnings this morning. And if you guys were watching our live streams, man, this stock was up all morning, really hitting highs up here at 25.76. I had resistance on them around $25, but Palantir had an awesome earnings report after reporting a great earnings in May. On May 11th, they had those great earnings, ended up popping very significantly on that day as well. And then they reported earnings today. Looks like they're finally breaking out of this little range that they were in for the past couple months. And I'm glad to see them kind of getting back up. And I would expect them to come up and maybe retest the 2750 resistance over the next couple of days, especially with the movement that we're seeing. Maybe expect a little bit of red or some downwards movement tomorrow, maybe just because of how significantly they popped today. But man, over the next couple of days or couple trading days, definitely watch out for Palantir. CLOV also had a great day. And like you said, DraftKings is looking very good today. I actually had a great wedge play on DraftKings, which I had drawn up in the stream this morning. And man, they ended up breaking out of it later in the day, confirming off of it, at around 9:45 Central Time, 10:45 Eastern Time, and then bouncing up off of there all day long with a nice run to the upside. Just was an awesome play with DraftKings.
There we go. You love to see it. All right, so let's get right into our momentum plays, and then we'll go over the member of the day. So, with the first momentum play, we have Facebook to the upside.
Yep. And with Facebook, go ahead and make them break out above, let's see, the high of the other day, right around 360, 320.
Sounds great. And with the next one, we have SOFI.
Sophie, a lot of people have been talking about this one lately, and they actually tanked off pretty hard here in after hours. So go ahead and make them fall below 1575.
All right, and with the last one, we have DraftKings.
DKNG, my favorite stock right here. They actually have a pretty solid resistance coming up around $55. So make them break that tomorrow or maybe over the next couple days.
Here we go. So we're watching Facebook and DraftKings for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And we are watching SOFI for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But Tom, we have a very interesting quote unquote member of the day today. So, I couldn't just pick one person. On the previous video, we had so many positive comments. So I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who commented on the previous video. There were so many great comments, and, comments really help grow the channel. So, we're so grateful for them. So, thank you so much to everyone who, leaves comments on the videos every day, and, especially yesterday's video. So thank you so much to all of you who leave comments. We really appreciate it. But Tom, let's get right into this unusual options activity for tomorrow. And we are looking at the SNOW calls, and we are looking at the 290 strike calls for next Friday. There was around $1.5 million put into this one, and I'm kind of torn on it because it's been struggling to break out, but it's trending in the right direction, and the options have a little bit of time, and they're kind of close to the money, so I'm kind of leaning towards the smart money buying these calls.
Yeah, I would kind of think they are too. And that resistance up there at 90, I would think they might get up there just given that we broke that 285 level today and they closed kind of strong, like you said. So I think it looks like they might be longing it too. And this daily chart just looks so bullish on Snowflake. I know that there's been a lot of positive talk with Snowflake over the past couple of years. So hopefully they can kind of get themselves back up there. And it looks like they are breaking out right now. So I would not be surprised if this ran kind of continued.
Sounds great. So let's get right into the comments from the previous episode. And with the first comment, we have Green saying, nice video as always. Thanks, guys. What do you think about bank stocks? Do you think they'll keep running? So, these ones are interesting. I definitely would not bet against them right now, but I just think that there's other better opportunities in the market, like Disney, like DraftKings. You can say Boeing, maybe even Corsair, and then, especially like RCL and WYNN and even MGM. So I don't think they're bad. I think that they definitely have potential to keep running because we're seeing a lot of money flow into just like value stocks right now. So they're definitely not bad. I just like other stocks better.
Yeah, me too. There's just so many other better setups right now. And that's the main thing. Like whenever we look at stocks like DraftKings and some of these ones that are really starting to break out, they're having a lot of this upwards momentum. And it just comes down to safety. And then also just the way they move off of technicals and stuff. So I'm with you, Mike. I think that there's just some safer ones out there.
All right, and then we have Sean saying CLOV, baby. I've leveraged a lot mid-wheel strategy on those earnings. If it holds and maybe pops off, I'm going to bank tomorrow. Another great video. Thanks. So, yeah, great job, Sean. I know that Clov did pop, and that's awesome to see. I know it ended up selling off a little bit at open, but at the end of the day, it's up 10% today, which is awesome to see. What are you thinking with Clov?
Yeah, it was an awesome pop up and they hit that $10 resistance just like they did a couple weeks ago. And then they tanked right down off of that again. So hopefully Clove can kind of hold this level at $9 and maybe go back up, maybe hold like $8.60. And I think that it'll be a pretty good next couple of days for Clove. Those earnings and them going up, I think are a pretty good combination. So maybe and especially just looking at the daily, Clove's been down around the $8 support for a long time, and I would just expect them to get up. And I'm really glad the earnings didn't hurt them because, man, if they fell below $8, it would have been game over for me.
All right, there we go. With the next comment, we have N saying, "May I have your thoughts on NCNO? Thanks for your hard work on this awesome channel." So, thank you so much for that awesome comment. NCNO, it's just like on a technical level, it doesn't look the best. Now, I did not do like a deep dive fundamental analysis on this one, but you see how we're just making lower and lower highs and then even lower and lower lows. So, it's not bad. It's just really not a setup for me. I like stocks like DraftKings, NEO, Redfin, Palantir, Boeing, Corsair, RCL, and WYNN a lot more. But this one isn't necessarily bad.
Yeah, it's not bad either. Like Mike said, though, like we say a lot, a lot of these stocks are just pretty safe. What's the ticker? It's like a NCNO.
Yes, NCNO.
Yeah, I was just on it, but I switched off and then forgot the combination there. But yeah, NCNO looking pretty solid. I mean, there is a support around 60, so maybe it can hold here, but on the daily, it's been selling off quite a bit. So I'd be really careful with it. To me, it almost looks like it could go down a little bit more, but I really hope it holds.
All right. And then with the next comment, we have Ali saying, "How about VSCO going up this week and still 30% away from target? Newer spin-off stock and respected established brand. The problem is low volume. Today it stepped back a little with low volume. What do you think about for tomorrow? Also, earnings report announcement next week sometime." So, it's very interesting. I know that they recently IPO'd, so there's not like a ton of chart data. I'm definitely down to trade this one just after earnings. Earnings are always very risky to play, especially on like a brand new IPO like this. So, I'm definitely down to trade it, but just, given there's not too much chart data yet, plus that earnings volatility, I'm just going to stay away.
Yeah, I would stay away before earnings, but I actually really like this one for the longer term. I love Victoria's Secret, and I think it could end up going up for like the longer term. That's a pretty like you said, a well-established brand, really good, and they just kind of separated from that other company, and that's why they ended up becoming two different tickers. So just looking at it, I think VSCO could go up, but really hard to say right now. It's up so much from where it came on the market at. Kind of hard to buy it right now, especially with it up and with the earnings coming up. I would say just wait a little while. Like you said, it's well established, so it's definitely not going anywhere.
There we go. And then Hunter said, "Neo earnings movement was a disappointment. Maybe some good movement at open instead." And, it's down like 3.5% today. Lots of sellers came in. And honestly, I don't really mind this one falling too much because if it does keep falling, I will just, get some leaps on it or even buy some shares.
Yeah, I think anywhere around that $40 support's great for NIO to get some shares and especially to like start selling puts and stuff like that. I think it'll look really good, especially like leaps and stuff, Mike. Those could really pay off if you time it right. And man, just looking at NIO, I really like it right now. Even though the earnings weren't the best, I feel like for like the next year or two, they could end up going up. And I think a big thing is going to end up being Tesla. Tesla actually had a pretty good green day today, even though NIO is red. And I'll be honest, Tesla's coming up and retesting this longer term trend line I've been looking at for a long time. And looks like we might finally go up here and hold this $700 support level and get right up. Because, man, we touched $700 this morning around open and then flew straight up. Now we're all the way up at 723. And, man, this after hours movement is actually insane with Tesla. We're actually breaking the high of day.
All right. So, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Man, there was actually a lot of sell-offs today across not necessarily like big stocks that affect the market too much, but especially some of these like growth stocks that people have been looking at, like the airlines, like we saw AAL down 3%, had a big pullback. I'll definitely be eyeing them up, possibly to sell some puts or maybe grab some shares down here at these lows with AAL, CCL. We had BLNK fall down another 5% today. CHPT was not moving well either off of those earnings. So not looking good there. But some stocks I really like to the upside are DraftKings. I think that's actually a really solid setup. It was a momentum play that we called out earlier. And man, if it breaks above 55, I think DraftKings will have a really solid run. So really have it on the radar. And, they had a pretty solid green day today, breaking out of this wedge. So they might have another continuation tomorrow. So really have it on the radar. I think it's one of the better stocks out there on the market. Mike, I know it's one of your favorites, and it's just one of those stocks that whenever it starts to run, it likes to really run up. And someone commented on our stream this morning and said Kathy Wood has been buying in. So hopefully she can kind of help this stock boost itself up.
Awesome to hear. So, Tom, we can't forget about the bot play today. We can see the hybrid bot called out CHWY calls at $190 each, and they ran all the way up to $270 within a couple hours. So, if you guys want to trade with the bot, Tom and myself, every single day, daily options, swing trades, day trades, order flow bots, custom bots, you name it, we probably have it. The week has been amazing. We played UPST calls, which absolutely exploded. Disney calls, which are set to do very well. The bot's been doing very well. So, if you want to try it out just for a month, you can cancel at any time. It's that first link in the description down below. You can chat with Tom and myself basically all day long. The bots have been on fire. The plays have been working very well. Like I said, you can cancel at any time. Daily option swing trades, day trades, you name it, we probably have it. So definitely check it out. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. Other than that, thanks for watching.